Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I'm Noble Allah from GMS Chicago, and I'm going to do a quick lesson about, the chosen bloodline, all right, and the chosen bloodline being that of, Israel, all right. But first, I'm going to start with Baruch chapter 2, verse 28. As thou spakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, If you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. And, specifically, it's talking about Israel, as we just read right here, all right? That being, of the chosen bloodline, all right? The Lord's people. It says, And they shall know that I am the Lord, that powerful I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. And that's, the only people, all right, that are doing that right now is of Israel, and only only the elect, all right, which are of the nation of Israel, all right, are thinking upon Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, all right. We're praising the names of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and waiting patiently until He returns, all right, so He can redeem His elect. And you don't see these other nations doing it. All right, these nations are not calling upon Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and that's because they are not of the chosen bloodline. All right, the Lord is only dealing with Israel. All right, that's the Lord's people right there, the nation of Israel. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. In return from the stiff neck and from the wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be the lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. And hey, when Yahweh Shai comes back, He's going to redeem His elect, and the ones that are going to be in rulership is going to be Israel, all right, starting with the Lord's elect, and it's not really speaking about any other nation. It's only speaking about the nation of Israel. It says, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people. And you see, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, ain't dealing with these heathen nations. He ain't dealing with Esau. He ain't dealing with Ishmael. All right, he ain't dealing with Elam. He ain't dealing with all these heathen nations that have oppressed Israel, all right? And you kind of gotta look at it this way, Imagine you have, you have, your Marvel, little figures, all right, little toy figures, and you only like one of them, you set one as, your favorite, and, it's the same thing that the Lord, is with us, of the nation of Israel, all right. Well, here's, Zechariah 2 and And 7, deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. The daughter of Babylon speaking about America. Zion speaking about, Israel, Jacob. 8, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. And Israel is, the apple of the Lord's eye. Right? That's why he's going to come back and punish our oppressors. All right? Those who, put us to captivity. Those who, afflicted, oppressed Israel. All right? That's why the Lord is coming back and he's going to, put these heathen nations into captivity. And especially Esau. Esau is going to get it the worst. All right? Leviticus chapter 26 and 42. Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land, and the land also shall be left of them, and they shall enjoy her Sabbaths, while she lieth desolate without them, and they shall accept the punishment of their iniquity, because they despise my judges, and because their souls abhorred my statutes. And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am the Lord, their power. And you see, it's specifically talking about, Israel. All right. And right here, it says, for I am the Lord, their power. All right. Yahushai is not for these heathen nations, he's specifically for Israel. 45, and I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, speaking about Israel, in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power, and I am the Lord. And you hear that a lot throughout the scriptures, all right? Their power, the power of Israel, all right? The God of Israel. You hear that multiple times in the scriptures, and that's because, the Lord, the Lord's people is Israel. We are the chosen bloodline, all right? Verse 46, these are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel on Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. You see? And never in the scriptures are you ever going to see that the Lord is dealing with these heathen nations. And if it's speaking about, Gentiles, all right, when it speaks about Gentiles and the Lord being with them, really, those Gentiles is really talking about Israel, all right? Because the Lord likened, his people unto Gentiles, because our people, they came into the ways of, they basically follow after the ways of the heathens, all right? They follow after the Hellenistic ways. They became, likened unto like Greeks, all right? Our people are likened unto these heathen nations because, they follow these heathen nations' ways, all right? So whenever you see, not all the time, but most of the time when you see Gentiles, all right, is really, speaking about Israel, all right, and Israel having a conforming to the ways of a Hellenistic mindset, conforming to the ways of, Hellenism. Exodus 3 and 15, and Yahweh Yahushua said, moreover, unto Moses, thus shall thou say unto the Lord, unto the children of Israel, the Lord, power of your fathers, and the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, the Lord, power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they, throughout many accounts in the scriptures, the Lord mainly delivered Israel out of all these troubles. The Lord mainly delivered Israel out of these captivities. The Lord delivered His people in many other scenarios. And never in the scriptures are you ever gonna see that the Lord has delivered a heathen nation. Because the Lord is not dealing with these heathen nations. It's pretty straightforward. The Lord doesn't love everybody. The Lord, the Lord's people, the Lord's people is basically, a particular treasure. But you know what? Don't want to go too long with this video, but yeah, chosen bloodline is, Israel. All right, and this the scriptures, is this Bible. All right, scriptures, all right, is mainly for you Israelites. All right, this is your history. This is your heritage. And you can see that the Lord is only, basically dealing with the nation of Israel. But yeah, hope this lesson was edifying. I give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Hashem. Yahweh Shalom.